At the beginning of the movie, we see the news, which informs us that it is about to happen. Some of my friends went to Texas for the holidays. They are attacked by a serial killer, and everyone is killed. This attacker used a hammer and chainsaw. Sally, one of the girls, survived out of 5 friends. She never said anything about the incident after she recorded her statement. In her statement, she mentioned a man wearing a human skin mask. That's why she couldn't see the man's real face. Then we were shown with a young woman named Leela. She asked the gas station owner in Texas about Sally. He tells her that Sally has been looking for the killer for years, but he hasn't been able to find him. Then, Melody, Leela's sister, arrived. Melody told her sister that we should leave immediately. Meanwhile, gas station owners wonder about their next destination. They said nothing to him and then left. After hanging out, Melody meets her friend Dante. Dante appears and tells Melody that he is ready to go with her. Dante and Melody actually bought a deserted town. They want to recommend this town to their investors because there is no development there. As a result, they were able to begin their development. Dante's friends were also present and a man showed up at the gas station with a gun. Melody makes a comment about the man. The man also answered him, and the two left for the city they had just bought. Meanwhile, on the way, a man from the gas station headed straight for their car. As they continued their journey, they encountered 2 officers on the way. They arrested them, investigated them, and one of the officers showed Dante his map, and it warns that this is a dangerous area, and if you need help you should contact us. After that, they came to their town and started planning to develop the town. While they waited, they encountered a man greeting them at the gas station. Melody asks Dante why is this man there. He informed them that he was their contractor and that he would soon embark on the renovation. After the man left, they saw a flag that had been misplaced. Dante and Melody enter the building to remove the flag. Meanwhile, they discover that this building was originally an orphanage. When Melody looked at the pictures replaced, she saw one of the pictures in which the child's face was not visible. Dante uses windows to try to remove the flag, but because his hand couldn't handle it, he went downstairs to warn Melody. Meanwhile, another woman appeared and greeted them and said, "You are welcome in my place." Both were shocked after seeing her because they believe there is no one who lives here. This old lady takes them to a seat and serves them tea. She explains that she runs an orphanage in this town. Melody says that the shop has taken possession of the property, and how can you live here despite that? This old woman informed them that she gave the bank all money. After that, she owned the property, but Dante couldn't believe it. This old woman informed the Melody that this flag belonged to his grandfather and his last memory. Meanwhile, a giant man appeared from the stairs and the Melody became terrified from him. This old woman tells her don't worry because everything is good here. After hearing that, this man left. This old woman informs the Melody that is the last child of the orphanage, and she continues to take care of yourself now. During this time, Dante called the police to the scene. When the officer came, they told the old lady to leave. This old lady had a heart attack after hearing that. Then this giant man appeared and hugged his mother. The agents informed them that she had to be taken to the hospital. Dante's friend also works in the hospital office. As a result, she was able to help the old lady. While officers into their cars, the giant man looked at the Melody. He is angry with her. Flag was rejected by the contractor and the man was cut further. During this time, investors came and began to show them. At the same time, this older woman died while in the hospital. After seeing her, this large man started to cry thinking that she was his biological mother. He tries hard to wake his mother. After holding her hand, the office announced that her mother had passed away. This man was dressed in rags and he violently broke the officer's arm. When an officer tried to shoot him, he would bend his arm. The bullet then hit another policeman who was driving, causing an accident. On the other hand, Melody is being auctioned off and people are buying land. Melody received a text from Dante's friend as she checked her phone. She informed him that the old woman had died. Melody told this to Dante since the old man died because of them. Melody told their sister to leave. As a result, no case can be done for us and Leela becomes shocked after hearing that. Here, the gas station listens to them. When Dante's friend wakes up in the car, on the other hand, she noticed that the 2 officers died. "Take me away, where is this person going?" Meanwhile, he sees his mother in the rearview mirror. He's ripping skin off her face. Dante's friend tries to get help from the radio. His mother's facial skin had been removed by this giant man. He puts his mother's cheek on top of him. This giant man turned out to be the same Leatherman. When Dante's friend saw everything, she played it on the radio. The gas station owner listened to it all and was shocked by what he heard. The officer was still alive when Dante's friends found out. She tried to enlist her help, but Leatherface's leather cane Dante's friends tried to help him by pretending to faint. Dante's friends tried to run away from the situation. Leatherskin, however, appears before them. After hearing the neck, he cut his stomach and the girl died. After that, Leatherface returned to the city to ask her mother's revenge. When Melody was about to walk with her sister, the gas station's service began to take the car key. Dante asks, why does it act this way? This man claimed that you killed the old woman and he wanted to see if the property belonged to him, where she lived. Dante returns to the car after hearing this to double the papers of the property. However, Dante cannot locate the papers of the property. Melody believes that this property may belong to the older woman after hearing that. They also made mistakes. Dante told Melody, impossible. Owner of gas station, on the other hand, contacts Sally. He informed her that Leatherface was back. After hearing this, Sally decides to take revenge on him. She keeps many guns and weapons in her car and looks at photos of her friends afterward, who was murdered by Leatherface. On the other side, Dante and Melody went to the old woman's house to find the property papers. Later, Melody found a money box from an old woman, which contained property papers. After watching the tunes of the newspapers, understand that the old woman is not lying. This property belongs to him instead. Meanwhile, she heard movement. Dante joins the kitchen after hearing this voice. When he noticed Leatherface behind him, he was quite scared after looking at him. Leatherface cut Dante's throat and started bleeding profusely. Melody sees Leatherface as she descends. To hide, she entered the old woman's closet. In memory of his mother, he put makeup on his face. When Leatherface looked out the window and saw a lot of people, he went crazy. The British decided to assassinate them. Meanwhile, Melody tries to run away, but Leatherface has already entered the room. Melody is hiding under the bed. Leatherface takes a hammer and hits the wall with the hammer. On the other hand, Dante is still alive and awakened by the noise. He rushed out of the house and the waiter noticed him. He was shocked to see Dante in such a state. He asks Dante who is in charge of everything. Dante died before he could tell him anything. This man rushed into the house and took the gun. He asked the girl to contact the police. Leatherface broke the wall and hit his chainsaw behind it. He began to hold his saw, keeping the saw on the ground. Meanwhile, the gas station attendant arrives and starts a fight with Leatherface. However, when Leatherface hammered his leg, his foot broke. Then, Leatherface threw him out the window, causing his face to bleed. He fell after fainting. Meanwhile, he notices Melody hiding under the bed. He took the key out of his pocket, allowing Melody to escape. Meanwhile, Leatherface hits him in the head with a hammer and he dies. On the other side, when Sally got to Texas, she saw the same car on her way, who has the corpses of the officers, and he finds the body of the skin-faced mother, whose face was cut off, and after seeing it, she realized it was made by Leatherface. She rushed to kill him in this town. On the other hand, everyone in the bus was already seated. When Leela talked about getting off the bus, a girl stopped her. Leela refused to listen and ran to find Melody by opening the bus door. She encounters Dante's dead body on the way and is shocked. Melody, meanwhile, tries to run away after getting the key. However, Leatherface noticed her running and hit her with his hammer. She fell as a result, and he began to kill Melody with his chainsaw. Melody, on the other hand, tries to escape from hiding, but Leatherface starts chainsaws in the ground, so he can kill Melody. Melody hides and Leatherface begins to spy on her. Melody, meanwhile, hears her sister calling her name. She began to cry after hearing her sister's sobs, and Leatherface listened. Melody's sister saves her after he starts a chainsaw underground. Melody is taken away after breaking a window. They both jumped on the bus. Melody gave the key to the driver and told him to hurry. As the driver started driving, he noticed Leatherface in the front of his car. This driver is going out because he thinks someone is missing. He is out to meet them. The Leatherface then threw his severed head onto the bus. Everyone was terrified when they saw this. Then Leatherface got on the bus and started killing people with his chainsaw. There was a man doing a live video there, and everyone was in awe after seeing him go live. Melody and Leela jump on the bus to hide. With his chainsaw, Leatherface kills everyone on the bus. Leatherface then heard noises from the back of the bus. Leela gets on the bus, but Melody is trapped inside. Melody's sister puts her upside down. The two save her and start running. Then Sally arrived in her car. Melody informs Sally that he is a psychotic killer who murdered all her friends. Sally tells them the killer's name is Leatherface, and she's been looking for him for years. Sally got them into the car and drove into Leatherface's house with a gun in hand. She points her shotgun in front of Leatherface after getting there, and she asked if he would call her back. She informs Leatherface that you've killed all of his friends, but he doesn't respond. After hearing this, he took the chainsaw and proceeded to kill the two girls. After arriving, he attacked them both, intending to kill them. Meanwhile, Sally shoots him, but he is unharmed. Sally introduces herself as the same girl who ran away from you. Leatherface ran after hearing this. Sally gave them her car keys and told them where to go from here. Sally arrives when she hears Leatherface's chainsaw. She walks towards him. A Leatherface attacks her. When Sally had to shoot him with a gun, his weapon jams, so she pulls out her dagger and stabs him, but he is unaffected. He cuts Sally in half with his chainsaw. Now Melody and her sister have to run away, but Leatherface throws his chainsaw at their car. As a result, Melody gets distracted and their car collides in an accident. Melody advises her sister to run away because she is a strong young woman. Meanwhile, Leela flees and Leatherface appears. Melody told him everything we did to your mother was wrong. Pardon us, but the Leatherface turns on his chainsaw and Leela turns around again. After taking this man's handgun from the gas station, Leela, on the other hand, can't shoot him because she can't shoot. He then began to chase her, but Sally intervened and shot Leatherface from behind, who is alive. Then Leatherface's the race and saves Leela. When Leela visits Sally, she tells her that if she keeps running like this, Leatherface will chase her. She gives him the shotgun and tells him she must assassinate him. After listening to her, she killed Leatherface by taking a gun. Meanwhile, Leatherface attacks her and, after catching her, jumps into the water. Leela appears after a while and tries to keep her shotgun. Meanwhile, Leatherface appears and, after starting the chainsaw, attacks him in the leg. When he tries to kill Leela, Melody arrives. He throws her behind after she stops Leatherface. Leela's gun ran out of ammunition when she started shooting at him. Melody then took Leatherface's chainsaw and attacked him. He then fell into the water and both believed him dead. The next day, the two sisters got in the car and left. They put the car on autopilot and talked. Then a Leatherface appeared. He pulled Melody out of the car and cut her body off her face. Melody died there and Leela cried violently after witnessing her sister's condition. After showing his sister his head, Leatherface turned his saw. We finally see Leatherface returning to his old home. The movie ends here.